Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. Welcome to this video on my channel. We are in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 and last week the sim update 4 for the Flight Simulator finally came out, which now gives us a quite stable version of the flight sim here on Xbox. So I thought let's take this opportunity to start a short series of flights around the world. I will show you different aircrafts and different airports. Hopefully we will find some nice locations on our way, and today we will do our first flight in this very beautiful Lufthansa Cityline CRJ900, and we will be flying today from Hamburg, northern Germany, where the sun is currently starting to set. It's 16:16 local time here in northern Germany. And our flight will bring us today to southern Germany, to the city of Nuremberg, with a very famous Christmas market. Yeah, a bit about myself. I'm a student glider pilot, so I'm in no way a professional airline pilot. And also, as glider pilots, we usually fly a VFR, which we will be, of course, not doing today. So I try to do my flights here in the flight sim as realistic as possible. But of course, as I said, I'm not a real airline pilot. Regardless of the fact that, of course, due to my flight training and all the theory lessons, etc., I have quite a bit of knowledge on air law, navigation, radio communication, meteorology, etc. But yeah, I'm just trying also to learn a couple new things here, improve some of the skills that might also help me in my real life flights. So I'm happy to take you on this journey here today and also for future flights. And but of course, if you see anything that is wrong or off, then let me know in the comments so I can also learn from you and your experience here. I would say without further ado, before it gets too dark, let's jump into the cockpit and start with our pre-flight preparation. So now we are here on the flight deck of the beautiful CRJ900 by Aerosoft. This is the version 2. The CRJ is, as said, a very fun aircraft to fly. Takes quite a bit of hands-on mentality, so you have to actively fly the aircraft. For example, it doesn't have an auto throttle, but I think especially this makes it a very fun aircraft to fly. So let's start with adding our ground power card here to get some electricity in addition to the battery, and then let's start the battery master switch and connect the GPU so that we get some of our systems going. First of all, let's take the nav and logo lights on. So we already have some systems powering up here in the background. Let me check. I have my sim brief connected here. Synchronized. This all looks good. So I would say let's get some lighting going here first, because the sun will set soon and it will be getting darker. So let's make sure we have enough light here in our flight deck. So this looks better already. Okay, we turn on the DC service power. We can also push in these air conditioning levers and turn the recirculation fan on to get some airflow going. We will take on the no smoking and seatbelt signs, and we will arm the emergency exit lights. So the rest looks okay for now. Let's do a short fire protection test. Fire system's okay. And also let's run this test here real quick. While we already set our IRSs to nav position so that we can initialize our position. And for this I would say let's grab the flight plan here from SimBrief. There we go. And let's align our RASs and initialize our position first. So we go to position initialization, go to the next page, grab our GNSS1 position here and paste it in here so that the airplane can set up. In addition, we also put in our ICAO code for Hamburg here and just double check if the position that we have here in the system is matching, and then as you can see there are only very small deviations here, so the position is rather accurate. Then we go to the flight plan, and now we can send our SimBrief plan here directly to the FMS, so we don't have to put on all our waypoints by ourselves. And then we go to the departure and arrival section and put in our departure, which will be the AMLO 3 Bravo departure and the runway 23. So that is correct. Let's execute that and go back to our flight plan, and then we directly also put in our arrival, which will be today the pivot arrival into runway 10. So we will be taking the ILS runway 10 and the pivot star, and we go through the NUB transition. So let's execute that and then maybe directly have a look at the flight plan. So let's go to the next page. And step through the waypoints to see if this all makes at least some sense here. DN for tree. So let's check here. We have a discontinuity, which we will clear out, of course. Then let's check again. Yeah, okay, that looks quite good, but I think we will delete the NUB waypoint because we don't want to have this triangle in here, so we go straight. So that looks a lot better. And that should bring us directly into runway 10. Yeah, that looks good. Alright, then we already have our route set up here. And can go back to the normal view here. We go back to our flight plan and go to the performance initialization. We will have a cruise altitude today of 31,000 feet, so this is flight level 310. And then next we go to our performance page and we'll set payload and fuel. Set payload in simulator. So let me quickly check. Block fuel is 4,235 kilograms of fuel, and the zero fuel weight will be 30.7 tons. Yeah, that looks quite correct to me. And then we can send the performance data directly to the FMS, so we don't have to set them by hand. And as you can see here, it is already taken into consideration these values, so we don't have to put them in by hand. Yeah, we leave that as it is, so we could now also enter the average winds for climb, cruise and descent, but we will not do that today. Go to the VNAV setup. Transition altitude will be 5,000 feet here in Germany. So we set that. Speed restriction 250 knots below 10,000 feet. That is also correct. And then I would say we are more or less good to go on the radios. Let me check one last time, but yeah, I think that looks good to me. Can also calculate the V-speeds already. We have a dry one-way here in Hamburg, and we will start with flaps 8. So let's set the V-speeds, and this will give us a V1 of 146 knots and V-rotate of 146 knots as well for today. Alright, the takeoff trim we will set as well later on. And then I would say let's go further by starting the APU. We turn on the 3A hydraulic pump and put the windshield heat and probe heats on. Don't know if this is the exact correct order to do it, but it does work here. So then I would say let's start the APU so that we can start boarding our passengers soon. So we will open the APU door. So that will switch now to APU door open. And we can also see that here, that it is open now, which now gives us the opportunity to start the APU. So this will now fire up and provide power to the system so that we can disconnect the GPU soon. We are still in the process of the initialization, so we still do not have our artificial horizon here. But that will come soon as well. Let me already dial in our cruise level for today. We will not be flying with ATC today, as unfortunately there's no real good ATC system for the Xbox, and the standard one from Microsoft Flight Simulator is terrible, to be honest. and a lot of time gives you very inaccurate and misleading information or instructions, so we will just skip that for today. Yeah, we will just pretend that we will get directly cleared for our cruise altitude. Alright. APU is firing up. And then I would say we can get rid of the external power. Let me check here. NTI is okay, that all looks good for now. Can already go back to the aircraft section here on OFB and open the doors as well as the cargo compartment and get our passengers on board. Okay, there was a master warning here because the passenger door is open, which is correct. Can already arm our nav here and turn on the flight directors. Now we are also the aircraft has initialized the position, so we have our horizon here, artificial horizon. So the initialization is completed. Let's already put then in our landing elevation for Nuremberg into the system, as we need that. So landing elevation ETDN. Which is 1044 feet above sea level, so let's put that in. Cabin pressure. Landing elevation 60. Need to scroll a little bit further. 180. Okay, that's quite a bit more. $800. That's a bit of a pity that you have to switch views here. So 1100, 1080. That should be 140. No, yeah, 140 is good enough. So 4 feet difference won't be a problem here. Okay, then we already have that set as well. We still have a lot of warnings here. That's of course because most of our systems aren't running yet. But we will take care of this in a moment as well. So APU is running. Passengers are boarding. Unfortunately, as you probably know, GSX, which is a plugin I would love to have, is not working on Xbox. So we do not have visual passengers here, but yeah, it is like this. No big deal. Good. What else can we do already? Step trim, mark trim, yaw dampers. Can already switch that to on. Push that to 1. Let's give ourselves a squawk code. 2476. Nee, 2476, yeah, correct. Alright. I have a bit of a cold, so my voice is a bit shaking, but I hope it's not too disturbing. Good, then I would say we call it boarding completed. Disconnect the ground power card, open the doors.
Captain,
close the doors.
secure. All passengers are aboard.
All passengers aboard.
Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the captain and crew, welcome aboard this flight. We hope you enjoy flying with us. Before takeoff, we would like to encourage all passengers to watch our cabin crew display the safety features of the aircraft.
These announcements, these passenger announcements, for me, they add so much to the immersion of a flight simulator. So I like that a lot, actually. So QNH is set to 10:20. Let's have a look at the weather. We currently have wind of 10 knots from 200, K4K. So weather is quite good here in Hamburg. As said, QNH is set. Let's also set it here in the standby system. Let's zoom in a bit here. Okay. Then I would say we are more or less ready for push and start. So let's get back to the aircraft section, get the real chocks out of the way. Let's one more time make sure all of our doors and hatches are closed. Last time I had some issues with the pushback track, so I really hope that it will work now. Because last time it got me stuck on the ground here and I wasn't able to move the airplane at all, so I really hope this is not the case here today. Okay, let's get the pushback truck lined up. Let's tune in for ground services here. No? Group? No. That's not correct. Oh, it's still loading, okay. Request pushback. Let's see if it does anything.
Lufthansa Foxtrot Charlie Whiskey 6811 requesting
it does.
Lufthansa Foxtrot Charlie Whiskey 6811. Pushback request accepted.
So let's get our beacon lines running here as we will be commencing engine start as soon as we get pushback to the Yeah, still to the right.
Hamburg ground. Lufthansa Foxtrot Charlie Whiskey 6811.
Release the parking brake.
Requesting pushback tug to steer the aircraft to the right.
And we're rolling. That looks good,
Lufthansa
so
Foxtrot Charlie Whiskey 6811.
let's
Your
start our
request has been
engines here.
transmitted to the operator.
Fuel pumps on. And we start with engine number 1. Let's wait for 20% and 2 here before we inject fuel to the engine. Which is the case now. Oh, you have to stop the pushback.
Hamburg ground. Lufthansa Foxtrot Charlie Whiskey 6.
Otherwise we will be getting pushed into the other aircraft here.
Lufthansa Foxtrot Charlie Whiskey 6811. Request to end pushback received.
Yeah. Pushback truck will go away. That was a very close one here. That would have been a very expensive accident.
On the ceiling and should be placed over your head. If there is smoke in the cabin during the evacuation of the aircraft, the walkway emergency lights will display to the exits which are located
And we will be starting engine number 2.
With an extreme emergency landing, you'll be instructed to get into the brace position, which is executed by placing your head between your knees with your hands over your head. We would also like to remind you that you should turn off all electronic devices. We thank you for paying attention during this brief presentation.
Oh, looks like that didn't work. Let's try again. Waiting for 20% into. Yeah, there's sometimes a glitch here with the engine start, so that the second engine will start automatically even though you didn't push the starter button. Don't know why that is, but yeah, it happens. So looks like engine number 2 is going to start here as well. Looks good, we have no more warnings here. Isolation valve is open, that is correct. Alright, let's get our hydraulics set to the auto position here. We have 2 good engines, so we can stop the APU. Air conditioning is going. Window heat, probe heat is going. That all looks quite okay to me. So let's arm our thrust reversers, set the flaps to position 8, and we also need to set our takeoff trim, which will be 7.2 today. So takeoff trim set. Arm the speed brakes. We will shut the APU door. Make a test on the control surfaces. For left, for right, for forward, for back, for left rudder, for right rudder. Looks good to me. Let's have a look at the map if we have it here. Is that the map? Oh, where's the map? So runway 23 is there, so we'll be taxiing out straight here, then right hand turn and left hand turn onto the runway. So airbudos closed, reversers are armed, seatbelt signs, no smoking signs. So we will cluster these messages here. Flaps are set, takeoff trim set. Let's set the taxi lights. And we're good to go. Park brake set off. And we start our taxi towards the runway. It's already getting darker here in Hamburg, so it will be already very dark when we land in Nuremberg. So go off to the right side here. Did we already get our...
Ladies and gentlemen, the captain has advised that we are now cleared for takeoff. Please
we'll take care of that later.
turn off, as this is a normal procedure for a nighttime takeoff.
I can't say it enough, I love these passenger announcements. Very, very nice. So let's stop here. And put on our landing lights, taxi lights off, strobe lights on. Let's get our clock going. And somewhere here we also had the weather radar. Yeah. Looks good. Then we go to takeoff, which will give us the right indication for the pitch, and then runway is clear. So we do a rolling takeoff from runway 23 here in Hamburg. And toga. Config spoilers, okay. Thought I did that, but we disregard that now. 100 knots. V1, rotate. Positive rate. Gear up.
Lufthansa Foxtrot Charlie Whiskey 6811. You are not cleared to take off. Lufthansa Foxtrot Charlie Whiskey 6811. ATC services terminated. Good day.
Yeah, that's fine. And we are in the air. About 190 knots. Let's engage the autopilot and bring up the speed to 190, let's say. And go to climb setting here. So we can increase the speed a bit. And we have a beautiful departure here over the night lighting of Hamburg. So we'll be crossing our transition altitude soon. So set the barrel to standard. And with that, we move out of Hamburg. Let's increase speed a bit more. 220, 230. We'll be doing another left turn shortly, which again gives us a nice view over the Hamburg harbor here on the left side with the famous Elbphilharmonie Orchestra Center. And there we have the Hamburg airport. So we can bring in the right and left landing light. And we will be soon passing flight level 100. We will soon be passing 10,000 feet, so we can turn off the landing lights finally and can also increase our speed. So everything here looks quite nice and tidy. As said, the weather is quite good here in northern Germany. You see just a few clouds. Wind is relatively calm. And as I've seen it correctly, we have similar conditions in in southern Germany. Wind 5 knots. From 130. overcast at 099. So we should be okay. There's another aircraft in the decals below us. Let's see if we can see it. Ah, there he is. And with this right turn we are continuing our climb towards our flight level 310. So we are almost halfway there.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are now serving sandwiches.
So board service is started, so let's put our passenger signs to off for the moment. At least the seatbelt signs, those walking signs of course will stay on. So everything's looking quite good. CRJ900 is really a remarkable aircraft, and this yeah, kind of a nostalgic one for me as well. As the when I started with flight simming a couple years ago in X-Plane, I think X-Plane 9 was it back in the days, on a very small and underpowered MacBook Air, where I was actually living in Nuremberg, where we are going to right now. The CRJ900 it was, so it was not a 900 but a 200. At that time, from I think the designer or publisher was J. Rollon for X-Plane. Was one of the first, or the first payware aircraft that I was having for the flight simulator. So CRJ always has a, let's say, special place in my flight sim hangar. Oh, that is cool. I didn't know that was possible. You have a camera here. Very nice. Yeah, I think this CRJ900 by Aerosoft and version 2 is really a very, very well designed aircraft. Seems to have been a bit glitchy when it comes to the flight controls, so they've seemed to be quite sensitive. But I think meanwhile they fixed that somehow with an update or a patch. At least I wasn't, so at least I did not have the feeling that it is a lot too sensitive. While of course I don't have any experience in real life on the CRJ, so I am not really able to tell, but at least it felt okay-ish for me. Yeah, but especially these small things like the PA announcements, the intercom functions, and also the DFB, which is quite well designed. They really add a lot to the realism of such an aircraft, I would say. Also here you have a lot of checklists. Well, you have the checklist that you can also use. So fuel flows on auto, bleeds and APU set, thrust reversers can be set to off. Just need to remember to set them back to on again. Gas checked. So 24,000 feet, 24,500. Everything's looking good here. I'll bring the lighting up a little bit more. For the overhead panel it seems okay. Oh, there you also have buttons to click. Okay, I better don't mess with these. Ooh. I think we can turn off the logo lights. Yeah, so we will reach our top of climb soon. And yeah, from Hamburg to Nuremberg it's not really a very long flight. I have done this flight in real life as a passenger, of course, a couple of times. So normally it's hardly an hour in the air, usually less, depending on the wind, etc., of course. So it won't take too long until we reach our top of descent. Let's increase the sim rate here a bit. As during the cruise flight, nothing really special or interesting will happen. Will be a very calm and undisturbed flight, so I will just increase the sim rate a bit. until we reach our top of descent. Yeah, so today Nuremberg, and I think with one of our next flights we will go even a bit more towards the south. I'm definitely planning on to go doing a flight to Courchevel in a smaller airplane, Switzerland. In one of our next flights, so our next flight will probably bring us south of the Alps, maybe again in CRJ, maybe also in another aircraft, and then maybe the third flight will be bring us to Courchevel, which will be a very interesting approach. Yeah, now we're getting the error message that the live air traffic is gone, which is normal because I increased the sim rate. So I back off the throttle a bit, so that just that we do not overspeed here. And increase the sim rate a bit further. Oh, it's messing a bit here with the physics, I think. Oh dear. Maybe 8 times. Was a bit too much. Let's try again. Not really, it's having a hard time. But anyhow, we will or have reached our top of descent, if I can see that correctly. Yeah, top of descent. Oh. So, now we're back to normal sim rate. So we can start our descent into Nuremberg. So let's put 5,000 in initially. It's always a lot of scrolling here. And start our descent. Use throttle a bit so that we do not get too fast. I'll add a little bit of floodlight here. So let's put on the passenger signs again here. As we start our descent. So, landing elevation is set, fuel is checked, we have plenty. TCAS set, radars on, CAS checked, landing data are not set yet. So let's go to takeoff and landing. Runway is runway 10, conditions dry. Let's get the meter. 2 reversers. So that should give us plenty of space. So let's set the landing reference speeds here. So VREF will be 144. And we refresh the weather here. Sorry, QNH 1025. So landing data are set. So PVR, we need to be 5,000 or above. Let's increase the sync rate a bit further and reduce throttle a bit further as well. We still got nothing out here? I don't know. Looks a bit off to me. deploy the spoilers a bit to slow down, so that we can make it to pivot. So we will be above 5000 at PVR, so I can directly dial in the next restriction, which will be 4200 at VNAP. Aerosoft 1025, right? 1025, yeah. Looking good, looking good. Let's check it if the plane will make a slight right turn here now. Otherwise we will have to go heading mode. As it seems to have lost track a bit here, to be honest. Yeah, it doesn't seem to, so let's go heading mode. Oh, we have to decrease our speed. As we will be going through below 10,000 feet. Barely missed that. Let's turn on the landing lights. That's a bit much. .2. Or even a bit less. Yeah, 1A should be fine. So passenger signs on thrust reverses we can already set back to arm. Let's retract the reversers. I have no clue how you set them to arm, to be honest. So if anyone knows. Auto. Okay, I don't know. We're still a bit fast. So let's pull them back out. So I have no clue where it wants to go now, but seems I'm somehow messed it up with the increased sim rate. Bless you. So we just leave it in heading mode for now, and we will be switching anyhow to localizer soon. So let's just stay in heading mode for the moment. So we're crossing 5,000 feet, so we can set the barrow to 225.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are about to land. Please note the cabin lights have been turned off, and this is a normal procedure for a nighttime landing.
Let's do a right turn here. And we will decrease our speed further here. Let me check the flaps maximums. 230, 220, 185, 170. Okay. Heading looks fine. Let's switch nav source to localizer. Localizer is showing in the right direction, so that looks good. Can I see the airport already? Should be to our left somewhere. There it is. I think we would have had a bit more time to do our descent here, as we're already quite low. But that's fine. Let's not get too slow here. Airport's now to our left. And I think we will cut the corners here a bit. Okay, let's check if everything is set here in the overhead panel, but it looks good to me. Landing altitude set, thrust reversers are armed, flaps we will bring out shortly. Q&A set. So we will be landing shortly. I will cut corners here shortly after then up, make a left turn. And then bring us down onto runway 10. Do a bit of a circle here. Bless you. So my co-pilot also seems to have a little of a cold, bit of a cold. It's winter, happens to the best. Okay, let's start doing our left turn here. Decrease speed a bit already. Bring out flaps 1. And let's arm the localizer. Flaps 2. Let's not get too slow. No, it was a bit too much. Then let's try to capture the localizer over then up. Yeah. Localizer is captured. And glide slope will come alive as well rather soon. Yeah, Jet slopes now also alive. So, then, let's bring her down. Reduce speed further. Runway's not in sight yet. Let's go, flaps 30. Gear out. Gear down. Better said. It's quite foggy here. And flaps 40. 45. Oh shit. So, gear down 3 green. Speed's looking okay. And now also the runway is in sight. Too white to red on the puppy. Can reduce speed a bit further. Checked. Our co-pilot keeps sneezing. Smarten up now, we're landing. Checked. Autopilot is connect.
400. 300. 200. 100. 50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
That was a bit hard. Reverse the screen. Manual braking. We won't make this exit, so we take the next one. That was quite a rough landing. And we take the next exit here.
Please remain seated until the aircraft has come to a complete stop.
Alright, let's stop here for a second.
Ladies and gentlemen, flight deck, captain speaking. Currently not at the gate just yet. I'll ask you to sit in your seats and keep the seatbelts fastened to get to the gate. Once we do get there, I'll have the seatbelt sign off. You'll be free to move out the cabin. Thank you very much.
Yeah, then I would say I will taxi to the gate now and shut down the aircraft. And on this point, I'd like to thank you very much for being with me on that flight today. It was a lot of fun. I hope you enjoyed it too. And then, yeah, I see you around on one of our next trips from Nuremberg further to the south. Thank you and goodbye.